Hey everybody, it's Durger time. You know what that means. It's time for another episode of TEW 2020 All Elite Wrestling, the new era, where we take this new chapter in AEW and try to see if we can survive the unrelenting wave of momentum creep that we're getting. Because we are playing again as a booker, we're playing as Cody Rhodes. We got the momentum chips. We lost some in the last episode. As a reminder, if a stack of those chips deplete, something bad happens. So there's a bad thing that happens in each one. Sort of a new type of punishment unlocks with each decrease. And I haven't really shared that yet. And I'm hoping maybe we won't get to it. Good news is we had a pretty good show. Unfortunately, Rampage has been a problem for our momentum meter. So that's definitely going to be a focus tonight in our Rampage episode. We're going to try to get this looking better. I'm going to try to just book it as bang out as we can get, because we've been averaging on our Rampages like 50, which has been horrendous. So I don't want to do that. We're going to try to really pop this Rampage and really make it look interesting. And then we obviously have to deal with the aftermath of Grand Slam, where some good, interesting stuff happened. If we go back to that show log, which we had a pretty decent show, a 67. All Out was a 69, so we almost put on a pay-per-view quality. Our best show so far was a Dynamite, though. Obviously, we had the Bucks and Adam Cole return and attack the Elite. The Super Clique are here, and they have aligned themselves against Kenny Omega and the Elite. Bryan Danielson defeated Jon Moxley, and Jon Moxley's still bitter and resentful, and we don't know how that's going to play out. Eddie Kingston defeated Miro to win the AEW TNT title. Our finals were decided between the Best Friends versus Jungle Boy and Christian. Going to happen tonight, in fact, which I'm a little concerned about that match. I don't know if I should be concerned, but Wheeler Yuta is a bit of a problem in terms of in-ring performance. But that might be an issue for us. We'll have to see. What else happened here? We had the debut of Ric Flair and Rush to form officially the Familia. Very well timed for the Dark Side of the Ring episode that highlighted some of Ric Flair's egregious past transgressions in about 20 years ago. Thunder Rosa staring down Britt Baker after Britt Baker defeated Ruby Soho. And then we have a challenge for Cody Rhodes challenging Malachi in an unsanctioned lights out match on Dynamite this episode. And of course, we had Kota Ibushi defeating Kenny Omega, meaning he's going to get hot shot and he will have an opportunity to face Kenny Omega for the title. So it was a pretty packed show. A lot of stuff happened on it. We did remove the the thing here. Where is it? I removed disposition change timing because I think it's stupid. And not that I shouldn't say it's not that it's stupid, but it's a little cumbersome. And the left off the show to complaints. I honestly was really hesitant to do this because I do think they make the game a little bit more challenging. But I think for this save, it's just too unwieldy and it's too quick to provide a negative issue. Like, look at all the morale complaints that we have already. Just all these irritations. I was left off Grand Slam, right? Let's see, Pena has morale issues, but I think that's because he botched he was blamed for an injury on Dynamite, which makes sense. You know, Jake Hager has morale issues. What's wrong with you? You were left off Rampage. Why do you care about being left off Rampage? It's the 1 hour B show. Like, I don't know. Definitely something that's annoying. It's just how that jives. We also are still having issues. I might do something with our child company. We still can't get broadcasting for the event that we scheduled for them. We did schedule Dark for them, but it is their show. Got to be held on Saturdays, shown on Tuesdays, taped 4 at a time. But nobody will take it because the broadcasting requirements. So, if I wanted it on YouTube, which, by the way, will take anything, hence you're watching this channel right now, they're not interested. And because the company must have 30 popularity in 3 regions, why? Cannot be based anywhere. And they fail to meet these production values, which I can't find out how to change. So if you guys know how to change a child company's production values, let me know. Because I can't seem to alter them. The only thing I could think of doing is cheating and becoming a player 2 as the owner of that company, fixing it, and then going in from there. The fact that YouTube's requirements, like I might fix that now, because I think YouTube's requirements for that are insane. The idea that YouTube would want a minimum popularity of anything, to me, is hilarious, considering it is, such a small, like, this doesn't make any sense to me. You could be the most tiny, insignificant company possible and still have a show on YouTube, right? Anyone can start a YouTube channel. So, and also very high risk levels, absolutely not. YouTube is so strict. So let me know what these should be. At the moment right now, I'm gonna cut this in half. And I think I'm gonna put them at medium. I would probably put YouTube at low risk levels. Because or is this the opposite? Is risk level how much they're willing to accept? Sorry, I get so sidetracked sometimes. Broadcast coverage. I don't see it. I think it's not. I think the risk levels is how risk adverse you are. Like, very high is like they'll let blood, death, sex, nudity, anything. That is not YouTube. YouTube is constantly, like, I would almost put them on low risk levels, but I might be totally wrong. Let me know in the comments. For now, I'm going to set this. Also, I might cheat and just say their broadcast quality is like nothing. Right? Like, they don't have any requirements for their music, so that might be able to be enough for us to get our child company a scheduled broadcasting, but it's still ridiculous, I think, that I even have to do this. There you are. I'm sure there's a balance reason for this, but let's do like 6 months. We're not keen on having you take that time slot to respect offer financial incentive. Whatever. What? Graveyard on demand. I mean, technically it's on demand. It's that the whole internet system needs to be overhauled. To be honest, it's completely crazy. And apparently, I can get a 100% revenue split. Be fine with. That's a little unrealistic. We will do. I'm not going to cheat like that. I think I probably screwed up a setting somewhere, but 35 to the company seems fine. Actually, you know what? Let's do 45. So we could cheat like that. Perfect. So that at least should get them the show. I haven't sent everybody that I need to. from our roster, because I do want to have some jobbers and things like that on the show. So there's still people I have to send away. And people I probably aren't going to be using anytime soon. Like, I might actually send Jamie Hayter. Her skill level is okay though, but her charisma is very good, but her popularity is very poor. I'd rather her be built up on Dark to maybe get some bonuses for us. The other thing I was thinking about was what our shows are set. This is considered an A show. I'm wondering if it should be considered a B show. Though, honestly, now that we've removed the requirements and the restrictions for being left off of the show, that might not matter that much. But it does feel like Rampage is more of the B show, even though they claimed that it was not going to be. It does move the story forward, but it does feel, a lot of it's now pre-taped, so you get the results after Wednesday night, so you kind of already know what's going to happen if you're on the internet. It makes it less of an incentive to watch. It feels more like a souped-up Dark to me with main event roster. So to me, that would indicate it's a B show. For the sake of right now, we're not going to touch it, but it might be something we change for authenticity in the future. All right, we got a Rampage tomorrow. Let's go ahead and get to it, and let's start booking. And hopefully, we can really slam dunk Rampage and not have to worry about losing more momentum chips. Here we are at Rampage. We are in the tri-state area. I think Duchess Stadium, which is in New York. Technically, in real life, this would have been filmed at the same location that they did Grand Slam in, but the way this kind of is set up, because it's not on the same night and stuff like that, we might change it at some point, and we might film both on the same night. I prefer to have a little bit of space in between, let things happen, let things breathe in the simulation. But, let me know what you guys think. We have a couple backstage incidents. We'll see what these are. Bryce Remsburg gave the room a lift with a series of spot-on impressions. We got one involving Miro. It was in great mood with some hilarious Rhodes stories, and it created a relaxed and happy environment. Good to hear. And we got something involving Sting and Dustin Rhodes, probably a wrestler's court situation. Yep, was brought before wrestler's court, accused of being an hour late to his assigned travel partner, and of course had to buy drinks for everyone. Very good. Nothing bad here. I'm going to let everyone open form. I just want to try to alleviate some of that unhappiness without having to pay everybody. So give them a bit of a small morale boost. We'll just keep on doing that for a couple weeks. Oh my god, there's so many. We'll just keep on doing that. It's not a big deal. People out. We still have Darius Martin out. Sean Spears is now out injured. He had gotten injured on that one show. Actually, it was a pre-show, I believe. Can I see medical on here? Let me see. I always forget where medical is. There it is. 45 days for Anna Jay to return. 17 for Brandy. 1 day for Colton Gunn, who had a strain of wrist. Concussion for Sean Spears is a 2-month outage. Luckily, I don't want to say that I not going to plan to use Sean Spears much, but I'm not planning on using Sean Spears much, so hardly the end of the world. The one that's still super sad to me is Trent out with a broken neck, still 6 months. Would love to have him back. I'm a big Best Friends fan. Big Chuck Taylor mark, as you know, if you've watched the show or any of my shows before. But I've always liked Trent too. So, seeing him injured and out is it sucks. So, we got a show, we got an hour. Man, I'm gonna try to. I don't know how much story we're gonna move forward here. I'm really gonna try to focus on making Rampage the highest performer we can do. Because I don't want to lose any more momentum chips, and we have a little bit more wiggle room with Dynamite. So let's go ahead, let's book it, let's see what we can do with this 1 hour limitation. All right, we got Rampage. We'll see how this goes. It's tough to book a 1 hour show when you need to have 3 matches minimum with a different set of requirements. I do have 1 pre-show match, and that's just to work the crowd a little bit. So hopefully this comes out okay. I lied. I said I wasn't going to book things based on storylines. You guys know me. You know, I can't help it. So this show actually does a lot to set up some stuff going forward. So let's go ahead, let's check out the week 4 Rampage. I think it's the last Rampage of September. Let's see it. In our pre-show, we have the Acclaimed versus the Proud and Powerful. Proud and Powerful have a work the crowd match. It's subpar wrestling, but a decent reaction from the crowd. The Acclaimed defeat Proud and Powerful. Oh, that's wrong, but we'll go with it. That's an interesting turn of events. They went to business for themselves. I thought Ortiz was supposed to take the win, but this is interesting. Anthony Bowens gets a huge upset win as he submits Ortiz. Of course, Santana is injured right now, so you could play into that story of both of them not being at their top of their game here. Great chemistry all around for everybody, and Bowens had a groundswell of support, and I think we inadvertently gave him a momentous push, even though he's nowhere near ready for it for prime time. Does not work the crowd, though, unfortunately, but it's a weird way to start the show. This does work the crowd, I think, though it doesn't say it. Interesting. This crowd is unworkable. We start the show with CM Punk's music hitting and him, Sting, and Darby Allin coming out to have an interview with Mark Henry in the middle of the ring. It's clearly a pop the crowd kind of thing, but it's also to set up like what's CM Punk's next move. He's partnered with Darby Allin and Sting for a bit to face off against 2.0. That seems to be kind of resolved. So where does Punk go from here? Is he hanging out with them? Is he going for the Trios title when it becomes available? What the hell's going on, right? And that's Mark Henry's question. It's like, what is your next move? You're here. You had this dream match. Now what? Like, are you going for the world title? Are you going for the TNT title? Going for the tag titles? What's going on? You're going to go into the G1 tournament in New Japan. And he goes, well, I'm still on this kind of unretirement tour. I'm soaking all of this in. And I've just been given this wonderful opportunity to make a dream match come true. And before I get into the grind for the title scene, and I certainly want some of my own dream matches to come true too. So he does establish that he's going to go for the world title scene at some point. He turns to Darby to talk to him instead of Mark Henry and says, I faced you because we shared a common bond. When I was retired, I watched you on TV, and, I admired you because I saw a lot of myself in you. And I know when I was a wrestler, you watched TV the same way, and you looked up to me. But there's another similar bond here. There's a shared connection. There's someone on this roster right now that I did the same thing you did years ago when I was a kid, growing up, watching and admiring. And he turns to look at Sting. Goes, so I hear you could still go. You want to make history next Wednesday on Dynamite? And so Sting smirks. We don't have a mic on him, so we don't hear what he says, but he definitely mouths like a yeah, absolutely. Shakes Punk's hand. We got a friendly exhibition match as Punk is continuing to try to make these dream matches. A match that I don't think ever happened. Some of you wrestling encyclopedias could tell me if it did, but I don't think the two ever actually crossed paths in any capacity. I think when Punk was in Ring of Honor, Sting was in Impact, so I don't think they ever had a match. But either way, for the sake of AEW continuity, we're going to have a allegedly once-in-a-lifetime dream match. Sting, who never should have been able to wrestle again, is wrestling, versus Punk, a person who we thought never was going to wrestle anymore. So kind of a shared interest here, and an interesting storyless exhibition match for the most part, to hopefully do something really good. The segment gets an 81, which is fantastic. I expect nothing less. Still didn't work the crowd, which is unfortunate, but we'll deal with it. Oh. Well, that didn't go well. I'm gonna lose some momentum chips tonight. Segment 24, we have a terrible match. Kylie Rae defeats Yuka Sakazawa in 10 minutes, pinfall after a super kick. Kylie Rae has a 30. Yuka has a 42. Also, we're having some trouble with Tony Schiavone and Mark Henry clashing on the commentary booth. So we got to look at that. I think we might reserve Mark Henry for more of a backstage, not commentary, but maybe like a personality role, doing interviews and things like that, because this is bad. Crowd was turned off by having a match outside of the pre-show between workers that he didn't have any investment in. That's going to be a problem, because I wanted to build up Kylie Rae, and I'm a little concerned about that in-ring performance. Maybe it's something we had to look at in terms of her skill set. Sometimes this, the Real World Chronicles, which is the mod that we're using, is fantastic and very well-rounded, very balanced, very comprehensive. I think it's the best real-world mod out there currently. That said, sometimes some wrestlers are highly underranked if they aren't on a major production. Some of that is balancing. Other that is I think, is mod preference. And I often find that the female wrestlers are significantly underranked to where they are. So we may have to do some modifications. In fact, we might do something in the next couple weeks, of maybe a live stream, to go through some of the roster after we see some of those rough areas that we need to maybe make a little bit more realistic. That said, is Kylie Rae a fantastic wrestler? No. But I would expect a little bit higher here than a 30. I would expect her closer to a 44, 42. So that seems a little concerning, but that also could be popularity, so we'll have to look at it. After that match, we have a Kylie Rae celebrating a little bit after her win, and she gets attacked by the Inspiration. They jump, double team her, and leave her beaten up, kind of building up and starting a storyline here of too much attitude, not enough smiles. It's a 40. It's not bad. It's not what we wanted, though. So a little bit of a rough one there. Much better segment. We have Eddie Kingston coming out to a New York crowd, hot, holding up the TNT title high into the air as he climbs up one of the ring, corner posts there. He grabs a microphone, does a cheap pop. It goes, "I did this for you, Yonkers." Crowd pops, hearing him talk. Has them wrapped around his finger as he talks to his hometown. He goes, "Listen, real talk. A year ago, I was going to retire from pro wrestling. The thing I love more than anything in the world. I've had a long career, and I've scraped by, but I never really made it. I was always the guy you'd call to do the thing. I was never the spotlight. And I got a call to do the thing with AEW. One match for the TNT title. I figured I'd come in, try my best, look as good as I can, cash that check, and walk away. So a little retirement gift. And I lost that match, but I gained so much more. I gained a renewed love. I regained all of your support. And I gained a shot at being something greater. I got the call, I got a job, I got a new lease on life. I didn't retire. The TNT title gave me so much, and it's time that it gives back again. Just like that opportunity that got me here, for as long as this belt is around my waist, everybody and anybody in AEW, in Impact, in New Japan, all over the world, anybody, you want a shot? Come to this ring, and we can give you a shot. And that starts tonight. So he waits for a person to show up. And his first challenger, hungry for the accolades, fan favorite Powerhouse Hobbs, comes out, got the crowd hotter, which is what we wanted. Kingston doing very well on the mic. Powerhouse Hobbs, this is going to be a fantastic match. It's going to be a wild brawl. I really hope this is like a 60 or higher, because it really should be. I would have ranked that higher. Powerhouse Hobbs has a in-ring performance of a 37. Seems a little low for me as well, but sure. This was a wild brawl. Should have played on both of their strengths. We might have been a little bit limited in the total popularity of Powerhouse Hobbs, which might be some of the issues that we're going to have in AEW, is that bottom half of the roster is maybe a little bit less popular than it needs to be for a national show. That said, pretty damn good match. Eddie Kingston defeats Powerhouse Hobbs in 11 minutes pinfall, gives that blackout lariat, makes defense number 1 of the TNT title. Powerhouse Hobbs took a stunt bump during the match to really try to pop that. Basically took a back fist from the back fist to the future, Eddie Kingston's old finisher, while kind of on the top of the ring post into the timekeeper's table, giving a big crash kind of tables bonus there. Should have boosted up the segment a little bit more, but 57 we'll deal with. And in our main event, it's only a 59. We got Christian Cage and Jurassic Express in the finals of the King of Trios tournament versus the best friends, Chuck Taylor, Wheeler Yuta, and Orange Cassidy. It's a decent match. Everybody's a little bit all over the place. Wheeler Yuta gave limited involvement to try to kind of not worry so much about his in-ring performance. Flow of the match was hurt because someone was having little or no involvement, which is fine. Ultimately, the best friends defeat Jurassic Express. Orange Cassidy pins Luchasaurus with a super kick, leading to a whole bunch of shenanigans. Marco Stunt was out there distracting Chuck Taylor. Ultimately, though, we do have a decisive winner, and Orange Cassidy being heads and shoulders above everybody else there. Poor Jurassic Express got so far, couldn't get there. Got the crowd buzzing. Got a 59. We have a celebration out as a kind of bring out the trios titles. So we have our first trios champion and the winners of the King of Trios get their titles. They get to celebrate with Chris Statlander there. So very cool beginning of sort of this faction warfare that we're going to have. Gets us a 59 for this segment. And to end the show, after their loss, Cage snaps and attacks Jungle Boy, attacks Marco Stunt, seemingly just viciously assaulting people, ends up squaring off with Luchasaurus, who he doesn't quite attack, he kind of just backs away at that point. And we continue storyline. So the alliance between Christian Cage and Jurassic Express seems to have devolved as he brutally beats up Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt, leading us to the end of the show and more questions than answers, leading into Dynamite. So we ended the show with a 55, which, if we look at our momentum chart here, we needed a 63. So that is significantly lower than our show average. So that's another 3 chips down. I think we have 3 more left in that. I have to take a look at it after we edit this because I don't have the exact number. But I think we have 3 or 4 chips in this stack left, and then that will activate the first round of problems. Rampage is a problem. I'm contemplating having 2 separate tracks, one for Rampage and one for Dynamite, because I feel like Rampage, we just have a harder time booking. So let me know what you guys think about that. Because we are losing chips very quickly, and it's almost exclusively Rampage's fault. And we have a lot of time now. We can get into these objectives, right? So we can complete these. We need to break up a tag team, and that does not count for Christian Cage because that was a trios. And then we could book a feud that gets at least 60 heat. If we complete that by week 1 of November, we have. If we ever at any point get to 60 heat, we complete that. And we'll get 5 points back. So that might be the focus. We might have to look at a tag team to start breaking up now, sooner than later. We also have that familiar face, hire a free agent, then that gets used to be in the WWE, get them in a feud with at least 55 heat. We have also till the first week of November to do that. So we got to start looking now and seeing who we can find. But let's bring down that momentum page there. And so let me know in the comments. A lot of things I'm asking for in the comments today. I'd like to know what we should do with the momentum. Should we have a separate momentum gauge for Rampage for our show? So we have enough to do a separate average, and we are doing an average for these, So I think that would be fair. Or do we average the average and do 1 rating per episode based on the average between Rampage and Dynamite? And that's going to be what we chart with. I personally think we should just do 2 averages. So, we can judge how Rampage is doing based on its average momentum, and we can judge Dynamite based on its average momentum. Because I don't want to lose. Losing the chips is fun, don't get me wrong, because there's going to be some fun wrenches in the works, but we don't want to lose them too quickly, because it'll make booking this way too hard. So, I'm excited to show you guys what weird nonsense we have for me if things start to go sour. But I don't want to lose so quickly, let's say. So we might call an audible, but I'd like to hear what your guys' thoughts are on that. All right, let's finish this show up and let's get on to Dynamite. We got some mail. Colton Gunn fully fit. Rampage at a 1.25. We got a sim through Dark Elevation. And I should make sure, before I forget, it is set. I don't remember if I did it or not, or that we have to reset Rampage to Wednesday. It wouldn't have been a big deal. You just would have booked it on Tuesday by accident. But I'm sure in real life TNT would be very confused if we somehow pirate radioed Tuesday and whatever they had on, the Go Big Show or whatever it is, got circumvented. Would not have been. It would have been very interesting, but probably would not have been a very pleasant call the next day. So let us get through the Dark Elevation, and I'll see you guys for Dynamite in a moment. All right, we are ready for Dynamite. We have some backstage incidents, one involving Britt Baker, which I just clicked through, so I don't know what it was. Oops. Probably just her being cool. We'll do an open forum again. All those irritations we'll try to alleviate a little bit. We have on this show, for sure, a lights out match, which will be our main event between Malachi Black and Cody Rhodes. And we have a match with Punk versus Sting, which is insane to say. And other than that, we don't really have anything else pre-booked. So Who knows, right? We got a lot of different things that we can kind of do and go through. We have some plans, some storylines that we can build. I think we need to talk more to Kenny Omega or Adam Cole about what the hell happened on Grand Slam, because that stuff was wild, right? We still have a match between Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega at some point that we have to set up. Then we have limited time with Kota. I think we only have 3 more for his loan. I think we only have 3 more appearances. I'd have to check. So we got to be a little careful with how we use him and make sure we're using that correctly. And figure out where that's going to be. If that's going to be at Full Gear, I don't think so. I think it's going to be. We don't have another event during October, but I think we're going to have an important Dynamite, even if it's not a named one, that we're going to run. Because I think the next special Dynamite isn't until I want to say Winter is Coming is the next one. So not to say that we couldn't do one in October, and maybe that is what we do. Certainly a possibility. Anyways, we have a show to book. Where are we? We are in the Southeast. I think I actually want to go to the... You know what? Let's go up. We haven't gone up yet. We're going to go up to New England. We were in New York. We're going to move up, and then we're going to go to Great Lakes, go on down. I think that's the plan. But you know what would help is if I actually selected a venue. Pick the best option. That's fine. Oh, Memorial Arena. That seems about right. We're going to sell it out, so that's super good enough for us. And let's go ahead and let's book Dynamite. I'll catch you guys on the flip. Alright guys, we are back for Dynamite. We have to... Well, we gotta hope that this show ends up being pretty good. We have that average of 63 we gotta beat, or else we lose some more chips. But we'll see. It's tough. It's tough to say. I'm not sure about this one, actually. I don't know if we blew it out of the park or not, but we got some good matches, I hope. Good segments, I hope. Let's see what we end up with. So we start the show with a pretty solid opener. The Super Click versus the Hardy Family Office. Super Click defeat them, pin Jack Evans after a flying crossbody. Adam Cole gets the win from the team. Nick at a 71, Matt at 69, Cole had a 61. Blade, Butcher, Evans, the weak link here, which is fine. And we technically start a storyline, but not really. Because obviously we already kind of started that previously, but we kind of changed the name, changed some of the people around. Afterwards, we get a little bit of info from Adam Cole. He gets a story time moment where he grabs a microphone with the Young Bucks and starts to talk about what the hell happened at Grand Slam, where he looked like he was going to unite with Kenny Omega and Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. Instead, the 3 of them betrayed the Elite and attacked. He goes, "So you want to know what the hell happened, right? Well, it's simple. Before the Elite, before the Bullet Club, there was a true group of friends that took the wrestling world by storm. We were so damn good, we broke the ratings scale. Everyone on the internet was talking about us. Wherever we went, we won championships. Hell, we were going to have our faces carved into the sides of mountains. Then Kenny came along. And he started to twist and turn his group into something else. Something cartoonish. A Flanderization. And don't get me wrong, I liked Kenny. But eventually I saw what he really was. Because you see, some people see Kenny Omega as the GOAT. He's the god of pro wrestling. Well, I remember him for what he really was. Behind all that bluster, he was really a cowardly, manipulative little man who would backstab his own friends to get ahead. Hell, he even tried to kill them if he could. Well, it's time for there to be new leadership, a new elite. And I'll throw my hat in the ring. It's Adam Cole, baby. So, Adam Cole looking to usurp the control of the elite. Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson seemingly behind him. So I guess that's kind of a call out saying, hey, Carl and Doc, why don't you join us and leave Kenny in the lurch? Adam Cole struggled going off script, as did Matt Jackson, even though he wasn't talking. But I guess they were on the mic a little bit too. Good to know that we might have to keep them on script here to allow it to go a little bit better. Adam Cole's getting better as a gimmick. Angle got the crowd hotter, got us to 67. Not too bad. What did underperform was this promo by Malachi Black. He has a match tonight. He lights out after the main event. And he says, as he sits in darkness in a backstage promo, that Cody has delved into the depths. And the rip tide is pulling him further into a dark sea. His mistake is he just wants to beat me. I want to end him. I want to crumble the pillars that hold up the House of Rhodes. I want to humiliate him. I want his fans to watch in horror as his flesh is torn and scarred and Cody is left but a simple husk. Because I will not relinquish him tonight. Not until he accepts his fate. Not until I hear him say that he quits. He is done. And on the smoldering rubble of his fallen foundation, the House of Black is formed. So, Malachi has said that he basically wants to tear upon the pillars of AEW. And he is targeting Cody. Presumably there are more to target. But he seems to want to pull apart everything about Cody Rhodes to then lift himself up. Unfortunately, he's a little underwhelming on the microphone here. Also a little underwhelming is this mid-card match. Varsity Blondes versus the Dark Order. Varsity Blondes defeat the Dark Order in 12 minutes. Brian Pillman Jr. pins Evil Uno. What should have said after a partner miscommunication, Uno and Stu had a kind of a falling problem here as they kind of weren't able to communicate effectively what to do, led to Pillman getting a win. Griff had a 33, Pillman had a 41, Stu had a 49, Uno had a 47. We continue to Fractures in the Dark Order storyline. Afterwards, this does very poorly. We just have a bit of an argument and miscommunication as they kind of acted up of like what the hell happened. Uno did not do well without script. They were set to entertainment, but I forgot to script them. Lost heat for their storyline. What regains a bit of momentum for the show is a interview at the ring with Tony Schiavone as Jurassic Express come out to discuss what happened on last Rampage after losing the King of Trios tournament, losing their Trios title shot, and they were interrupted by Christian Cage, who quickly started to tear them up on the microphone. And he says, Schiavone, I could tell you exactly why I did what I did. So he gets into the ring, he talks to him. Because from day one in this company, I've been disrespected, overlooked, and underappreciated. I was the hottest signing this company had. I was the CEO's favorite wrestler. And I came out to a middling applause. I've been constantly overlooked and constantly doubted since getting here. I wanted to come to fight the best, to show that I still got it, as the fans chant. But instead, I had to babysit a boy and his dinosaur. Jungle Boy, I really took a shining to you after our match. I thought, this is the guy. He's the next star. I can help him. I can improve him. I can make him better. And you know what? I realize now, after fighting with you more, after that loss, that I was wrong. You're not the next star. You're not the next guy. You're just a pretty face little bitch son of a B-list actor. And honestly, I'm thankful for your sake that your father's dead, because he would have been ashamed of what you became. And of course, the cheap heat from Christian Cage leads to Jungle Boy quickly diving in the cage and attacking him, leaving the two to brawl and Cage to slink away and retreat after he sees that the numbers are not in his favor. So we have a pretty heated rivalry beginning with Christian Cage and Jungle Boy here. We did hint at a future to heel turn. I think that was a pretty clear heel turn. Not sure why we can't handle a gimmick now, but we will do it in our next match, I suppose. We have Lance Archer for the IWGP US Heavyweight title versus Frankie Kazarian in a pretty good match, 10 minutes. Got a 49. Lance Archer defeats Frankie Kazarian. Lance had a 60, Frankie had a 40, and Lance Archer looked fantastic out there. Afterwards, we have a pretty good after-match segment. Bryan Danielson comes out to the apron with a microphone, and he confronts from a distance Lance Archer, compliments his power and his reign as the IWGP US champion, and says, ever since I've left the other place and I've come to AEW, I've really wanted to travel the world and really experience the best that 2021 has to offer. There's so many fantastic wrestlers that I've never had an opportunity to work with. So many challenges, so many unique opportunities. Japan, I would love to go to, but it's a little hard to get to right now. But I don't see any reason why we can't bring it right here. You got the US title. Why don't we bring a little bit of strong style to Dynamite next week? Lance Archer grins at him, thinking that this is his opportunity to really put a beating to Bryan Danielson, and gladly accepts. So we have a IWGP US Championship match against Bryan Danielson. This gets a 68, does pretty good. A lot of highs and lows tonight. Jon Moxley comes out of nowhere with a backstage segment to help build up that momentum for the night after a couple middling sequences early on the show. He's pacing back and forth in a backstage segment, talking about the locker room and specifically Danielson. He's getting further and further unhinged. And he goes, I'm starting to feel a little unhinged here, he says, clearly. The champion that carried this company is once again not booked on the show. I don't even have a match. Newer talent continues to overrun on time, and once again, New Japan still hasn't answered my calls back. I'm feeling a little unwanted right now. Have you ever seen what a dog does when it's abandoned? It gets desperate, gets a little crazy, and it gets very dangerous. Bryan Danielson, we are not done. Because one match doesn't end the story, it just begins it. You may have bested me in the ring once, but when I split your head open and you get a taste of your own blood, then we will really see what you are made of. So Moxley still challenging Danielson, not over this this feud, even if Danielson seems to be moving on from it to the IWGP US title. Moxley wants a piece of him, and obviously is pissed off at all the outsiders that have shown up. This gets an 84. He does fantastic. This match is not fantastic. Hikaru Shida versus Kylie Ray. We will shove Kylie Ray down people's throats until they like her. God damn it. Hikaru Shida has a 51, Kylie Ray has a 35, and Kylie Ray actually defeats Shida, our former women's champion, with a quick roll-up to protect her a little bit. She's getting better, her gimmick. The match is a 41, it's not great. We have a... Oh, God, man, nuking myself with this segment, but damn it, I want to get over. Kylie Rae gets jumped again. Jessie McKay and Cassie Lee are once again out there attacking her. But this time, Ruby Soho comes out to help make the save, seemingly pairing them up for a sort of tag team feud. Unfortunately, this does not do well. It's a 37, very underwhelming. A match that's not underwhelming is CM Punk versus Sting. A match I sincerely hope happens once. It has fantastic heat and great wrestling. CM Punk does defeat Sting after giving him a go-to-sleep. The poor man. Jim Ross was the weak link on the announce table right now. He couldn't help himself, couldn't figure out what was going on, I guess. He got totally lost. Darby Allin at ringside for Sting. A interesting inversion of their relationship. Doing good work and mannerisms ringside. Gets us an 81. Of course, a also equally good, actually a very fantastic segment afterwards at the 87. CM Punk helps save this show after he picks up Sting, who's shaking the cobwebs off after that go to sleep. Extends a hand and shakes it. Sting gives him a bit of a hug tap on the back kind of thing. And then Darby's in the ring looking mad that CM Punk beat up his dad. But CM Punk offers him a fist bump, and Darby takes it, a sign of respect from the three of them. After CM Punk got to have his dream match. Of course he was going to win here, even though it's Sting. 87 does very well. Darby Allin, masterful in his parts of the segment here. I guess he looked very good in the acting gig. And our main event's actually the underperformer. Our lights out match doesn't do great. It's Cody Rhodes versus Malachi Black. Malachi Black defeats Cody Rhodes in 13 minutes by stoppage after Cody Rhodes could not continue in this hardcore match. Cody Rhodes is in extremely poor form right now. We might have to talk to him or talk to ourselves to figure out what's going on. I might have to tell him to, I don't know, get on the gas or something. Overall, Arn Anderson did some good work ringside. Malachi Black is getting better as gimmick. Unfortunately, the match is not fantastic, and I'm fear the after match is not going to be great either. Yeah, it's okay. Malachi Black bloodies Cody, gives him a swift black mass, knocks him nearly out, and then applies a rear choke with an aluminum rod because this was a lights-out hardcore match. He demands him to tap and to quit, wanting Cody to just relinquish himself. Cody instead falls completely unconscious, but that is not enough for Malachi, and he continues choking him, potentially going to kill him. This quickly leads to the refs coming out trying to stop him, leads to Arn getting in the ring, gets pushed aside. Dustin finally comes out and is able to wrestle Malachi away, and all three of them square up a little bit after freeing up Cody. Malachi just smiling and slinking away. Still not satisfied with that loss. He doesn't want Cody to fall unconscious. He doesn't want him to get pinned. He wants him gone. He wants him to leave and do it on his own free will. And he will continue to attack him until he gets that opportunity. Unfortunately, these two main event segments underperformed here, but we did have some bangers. We need a 63. Did we get it? Yes, we did. We got a 70. That we had a couple segments in there that really helped us out. That 70 means we are well above our average, which doesn't give us a lot. We are 5 points or more above our average, which only gives us 1 momentum point back. It's easier to lose momentum than it is to gain momentum in this situation. It's designed that way. So we gain a momentum point. Yeah, we did okay here. We are limited in our viewership based on where our other broadcasters are, but that's fine. We gained popularity in 13 regions. Very good way to end the show. Looked a little hairy there, but apparently if you put CM Punk and Sting in the ring, everything will work out okay. We do have some mail. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got. BJ says Jungle Boy's turning into a good worker. Kid is worth getting behind. I agree. We had a 1.95's 1.4 million viewers. Very good. Lance Archer feeling a little sore. He's gonna feel a little bit sore next Dynamite. So sorry, bud. But very good show. Very happy with that. We get a little boost up of momentum, which we desperately needed. And we got some continuing some work for Rampage. We still need to complete our objectives, but we still have a lot of time to work on that. So I think I want to look at breaking up a team. I think it's going to be Dark Order, and I think it's going to be Uno and Stu Grayson. But let me know what you think about that as we're kind of continuing to build up that story. Or if you guys have another interesting idea of a team to break up to kind of build that story, could be interesting. I know we technically just broke up Christian and Jurassic Express, but that doesn't really count. I'm looking for a tag team, not just a loose trios alliance. Anyways, good show. We still have a lot of other storylines to work on that we'll have to work on Rampage in the next one. But we ended the first month very solidly. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Let me know what you think, any feedback you have on the momentum system or advice. And of course, give me a like, give me a follow and subscribe if you're not already. It helps let me know that I'm on the right track with this show. Got a lot of positive feedback so far. I'm very excited about continuing to run it. But I like to see that momentum. Just like we're focused on momentum in this save, I'm focused on momentum on the YouTube channel. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.